WIFO-FM in Jessup. It is now time for the world-famous Butch and Bob Show, brought to you by O'Quinn & Associates, Van's Barbecue, Murphy Builder Supply, and First Southern Bank.
Hi, Wayne and surrounding counties. This is Sean O'Quinn with O'Quinn & Associates. The one constant in life is change. Throughout our lives, we will go down roads that we never imagined. I have decided that it is time for me to make a change. I have decided to start my own independent insurance agency. What does this mean for you? Better rates and multiple companies. Give us a call at our new number, 912-385-1000, or stop by and see us. We are still at 212 South 1st Street, and we look forward to serving you.
When it comes to barbecue, Van's Barbecue in Jessup is the place to be. A small family-owned business located at 1876 on the Savannah Highway. Van's Barbecue has lunch and dinner specials. Stop by or call to make an order. The number to call, 427-3358. Van's Barbecue's new manager is Sarah Van. Van's Barbecue offers potato salad, coleslaw, baked beans, and don't forget their delicious mac and cheese. Also, check out their shrimp plates, the best in town. Yes, when it comes to barbecue, head to Van's Barbecue, locally owned and operated. Stop by and tell them the Big Dog sent you. Once again, the number to order, 427-3358.
Since 1946, Murphy's Builder Supply has been serving the folks of Jessup, Wayne, and surrounding counties with quality products and knowledgeable service. Matter of fact, they feel they sell service first to make sure you get exactly what you need for your home improvement projects. And with each employee at Murphy's being there for 10 years or more, you know you're talking with someone with the experience to help you with building supplies, tools, paint, and all the things you need from a full-service hardware store. The best choice in home improvement is Murphy's Builder Supply, 156 Northeast Broad Street, Jessup.
Hi, I'm Raymond Brown.
And I'm Mandy Yeomans. At First Southern Bank, our customers are like family. As a locally owned community bank, we're dedicated to helping our clients succeed.
We have loans for every need, whether it's personal or business. We have lines of credit, auto loans, equipment loans, and of course, we offer mortgages. Stop by our bank or call us at 912-588-1010 and see how First Southern Bank can help you.
Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
The following is an exclusive presentation of Jessup Broadcasting, the sports leader in Southeast Georgia.
The world-famous Butch and Bob Show.
World-famous Butch and Bob Show right here on WIFO for this July 21st. Bob, how are you doing?
I'm good.
You doing good?
Doing good.
All right. Well, we've got a couple of very special guests on the world-famous Butch and Bob Show this morning. One in the studio. One's going to be called in a moment. Congressman Betty Carter will be called in a moment. But who do we have in the studio with us right now?
We have Mr. Fred Anderson. He is the Republican candidate for County Commissioner District 4. Again, county commissioners are partisan races. You have to sign up for your party. He ran unopposed in the primary. Incumbent James Booth Thomas currently has that seat. He ran unopposed in the Democratic primary. The race will be decided this November between the voters of District 4. So, Mr. Anderson, appreciate you coming in. First of all, just tell us about yourself. I say everybody assumes everybody knows everybody, but there's a lot of people out there that don't know who Fred Anderson is. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your family, and why you decided to run for this position.
I gotcha. Thank you for the opportunity to be here, Bob and Butch. I appreciate the opportunity to come and speak to you guys this morning and speak to the county on the radio. I did grow up in Wayne County, went to T.G. Rich Elementary School, went to Wayne County High School, graduated, went on to Bruton Parker College. I'm married of 27 years, have two daughters. Both are in college this fall. My youngest will be a freshman in college at Georgia Southwestern. We move her in August the 5th, so a lot of some changes in our family going on. Everybody's teasing me about the empty nest. But anyway, I have been in ministry, church ministry, pastoring for over 30 years, from churches from North Carolina to around the state. I have lived in Wayne County over 30 years, having moved away some in ministry. I've been living back in Wayne County 16 or 17 years, and that's me in a nutshell.
You're still involved in ministry?
Still involved in ministry, a pastor in First Baptist Church in Baxley,
okay.
And but still live here, still live near where I grew up, Anderson subdivision area. So
I lived in Anderson subdivision back in the good old days in the early mid-'70s. In high school?
Everybody asks me what Andersons I'm kin to. There are a lot of Andersons, Madras Springs area or whatever. The only ones I'm aware of were my grandparents right there.
Yeah, that's back when all the roads out there were dirt except for Anderson Drive.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was called the paved road. Go up to the paved road and then turn on that. Now it's all paved out there. Fred Anderson, our special guest this morning on the Butch and Bob Show.
What made you decide to enter this race? What made you decide to say I want to be a politician?
Well, just let me say I'm not a politician. Never have been. Never sought to be one. Really, I know this is a political seat. But what made me decide to run was just wanting to pour into the community, wanting to make a difference in the community, wanting to be plugged into the community was basically my desire. I think we all, Butch and you would both say with me that we want Wayne County to be the best Wayne County it can be. And so that's just my desire to contribute, not to just be a spectator in the county, but to be a contributor.
You've been at the last several meetings. Your thoughts on where the county stands, and if you get elected, what are some of the things you'd like to see done?
I've been attending meetings for almost 3 years now. I haven't missed hardly any, and so I've been plugged in. I've reviewed a lot of things, even gone to some work sessions. I believe you were in the last work session at the airport.
No, I didn't get that memo. I missed that one.
Okay, I was thinking
I was hoping to be there because that's the one they talked about the courthouse. But
that's right.
I didn't get that memo.
They did talk about that, present a lot of details, and that I think I was getting you confused. Drew Davis. Drew was there. Y'all look so much alike, Bob.
Oh yeah.
No.
Is that Drew or is that Bob?
I think the show just ended right there.
Well, Boot Thomas will be the newly elected person. Bob's going to do all he can to campaign. No, I've been plugged in. We got cutting up. You're going to have to remind me of the question now.
What are some things you'd like to see done if you get elected?
What I hear from the people, it's not so much what I'd like to see done. I point back to the constituents of District 4 and the other districts, and what I hear is our people feel a burden that they're overtaxed. Whether that's perception or reality, that's what I'm hearing on a consistent basis. So I would do all I could to lower taxes. I know there are a lot of questions around that. Well, how would you lower tax? I think there's some things we can do, the budgeting process, accountable spending, different things like that we can look at to lower taxes. But I think if our people are feeling that way, we've got to answer that question. I would listen and be accessible to the people, represent the people's voice. I think in a lot of ways our people in our districts don't feel heard. I can't tell you the ins and outs of that, why they feel that way necessarily, or how long they felt that way. But I can tell them, I can't make a lot of promises. I tell everybody, I can't promise to do this thing or that thing. I can make a few. One is I will listen and I will represent your voice.
I'm just curious. You're out campaigning. A lot of people, like I said, school's coming up, people on vacation. Are people tuned into the election? Are you getting any response, or how's the campaign going? Well, I'm sure it'll pick up, closer after Halloween, things like that. But how's the campaign going right now? Are people engaged? Are they interested in the race?
They are engaged. I went to an event. It wasn't a political or campaign event at the Hall Richardson Center last Saturday, and I had people approach me wanting to talk about some different things in their area, in their community. They are engaged, but as far as the campaign is concerned, that will kind of ramp up in the upcoming months.
Yeah, after Labor Day, things will really kick in big time.
Right. So I'm trying to be out, be available, let people know who I am.
How did that event go at Hall Richardson? We had Jamie on last week talking about it. How did that event go there at Hall Richardson?
I felt like it went well. It could have been largely attended, but I will say this morning, my condolences to the Swint family. I did talk to Michael Swint before I qualified to run because I knew he was a write-in candidate the last cycle, and Michael's health has been bad for a while, so we need to keep his family in our prayers. But that funeral was that same day, so there were a lot of people at Michael's funeral. But I thought it was well attended. Over 40 or 50 people from the neighborhood came out and participated in the games and the giveaways and the whole time.
I'm glad that event went well. Yeah.
And just join us, Fred Anderson is with us, candidate for county commissioner. Again, we'll get you and Mr. Thompson several times between now and November. But just wanted to get you in and let people know who you are. Like I said, you're running for a county commissioner in the Republican ticket. You think that'll help? I told people, this is going to be a big race. All these statewide races in November, governor's race, Senate race. There's going to be a lot of interest. So there's going to be, I would think, a huge turnout. Do you think that'll benefit you in this race?
I think it will benefit me, and I think you're exactly right. I think there'll be definitely a larger turnout for that than we saw back in the primary. So I'm looking forward to that and meet new people and hopefully be supported by the people.
Apparently they're not going to get an agreement to put the SPLOST on the ballot in November, but you were at the work session. Your thoughts on that judicial complex, what you heard, what you thought, any ideas?
I've been in a lot of meetings where the judicial complex has been talked about, the need, not just the judicial complex about what's being proposed, but the needs we have for safety and security in that facility. So we do have a lot of needs in safety and security in our courthouse, in our courtrooms. So I would echo that. But as far as where I stand or where others stand on this proposal, I think we got to give it back to the people. We need public input. We need what our people feel about taking on this kind of project, this kind of indebtedness, and how we're going to pay for it. I think we need to listen to them.
And that's one thing I don't understand. They keep talking about, they want public input, but there's never been a public hearing. I don't understand why someone doesn't set up a public hearing and have everybody show up, say, the high school auditorium or somewhere and say, look, here's what's being proposed, because there's always, everybody has these wants. Some people want a new stadium. Some people want a community center. Some people want a new pool. Some people want let's find out what the people of Wayne County want. And the only way to find that out is to have a public hearing somewhere and have people come and express their views. I don't understand why that hasn't happened yet, but that's just me.
You're right, Will. And that's something I'm looking at and going in. I think we need those times. It's like if you go to a car dealership to buy a car, they're going to find out what you want. What do you want to drive? What are you willing to pay for? So when we go into kind of we're the taxpayer, what do we think we need? What are we going to pay for?
Is the judicial center just not a want? Because we all want things, but is it a need? You talk to the people who are involved in the court system, the judges and the bailiffs and all those folks involved in that, they think it's a need. Is it a need?
Well, the security is the need.
Well, okay. That's what I was trying to say. So we have needs. Is that
it's a need? Is there a backup, a contingency plan? Bob or Fred, y'all could answer this. Is there a contingency plan that's going to be implemented soon to be able to help with the safety of going in and out of the courthouse and the judicial complex there? Because we're a long way away from any new building being built. I mean, that's, first of all, you got to get the splash patch. It's not going to happen now. It's going to be 2 years from now, and it may or may not happen. And then if you do decide to do it, then it's going to take years to build it. So is there a contingency plan? Is the county commissioners talked about that?
Well, the sheriff or somebody else would be able to answer that better. No, like I said, the story I get is that the current courthouse is so ancient that it's hard to get the security that they need or that they want in that facility. That's why it's going to be incorporated into the new complex.
Don't they use that, the Superior Court, don't they use that courthouse C now all the time? Or do they still use A?
They use all the courthouses.
They use all of them.
Yeah.
Is there any way that you can get the courthouse and cut off? I mean, there's several doors to go in. Is there any way that you can just lock all of them except for the one and then have security going through it like you do at a federal courthouse?
I think they do it just basically by personnel. There is a metal detector, though, when you go upstairs. Before you go up there,
I know upstairs, but I'm talking about downstairs.
I mean, before you go upstairs, it's downstairs.
I know, it's right there, but is there – but, I mean, is that for all people going in? Or can you still go in 3 or 4 doors there at the courthouse?
Yeah, you can go 3 or 4 doors.
Still 3 or 4 doors, okay.
Still, right. And part of that's handicap access and different things. But I think there are some things we can do to secure our current facilities, and we need to look at doing those because it will be a process like you're talking about, Butch. Okay. And we need to do that. And we need, if our courthouse is in ill repair, we have Visqueen on the windows. I think we need to do some things to repair our current courthouse.
No, we did a good job repairing it last time when Nancy Jones was county director, and brought in the inmate labor and completely redid the courthouse, and maybe we just need a touch-up, finish-up on that. It's been several years since that's happened.
But we do have needs, and we need to address those needs, and but we need to address them in a way that our taxpayers support that. And
well, as you're out and about, you heard about taxes, that people are interested in wanting their county taxes lowered if at all possible. What other areas of concern do you hear from the constituents out there in District 4?
One major one I hear is safety and safe and secure recreational areas. And if you take an assessment, if we talk about Bill Marsh Park, it's pretty safe and a friendly environment to go out to. If you look at the Hall Richardson Center, it is not. And so I think we can do some things to make those more family-friendly environments. I think also, we need to look at a true community center where we could service ages 1 to 100. Pool's an issue I hear a lot of times. We could talk all day about that. But I think a true community center will meet the needs of a lot of our families and benefit our community.
Okay. All right, Bob, anything else for Fred Anderson this morning?
Just appreciate it. Like I said, we'll get you in between now and November, I'm sure, but just want to get you in here. Like I said, it is election year, a lot going on, a lot of people out campaigning. I know you are out campaigning. Like I said, we got your opponent coming in on Monday, so appreciate you being here. Wish you the best of luck, and good luck in the campaign.
One question we do always ask, Bob, when people go into the to vote for you, either early voting in October or on Election Day, first Tuesday in November, why should they vote for Fred Anderson for District 4 County Commission?
Well, I believe they should vote for me because I will listen and represent their voice. I will work to lower their taxes. I'll be available and accessible to them, and I'll be accountable and transparent to the people. So I will do all that I can do within my power to represent the people of Wayne County in District 4, but we do realize we have 5 districts, so working together with the other commissioners.
Okay. Well, Fred, I'm sure we'll be having you back here again sometime in September, October. You take care. All right, we'll have more of the world-famous Butch and Bob Show in a moment.
South Georgia weather.
Here's your WIFO forecast. Partly sunny today. Southwest winds, a 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms, highs low 90s. Partly cloudy, 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms, low 70s for tonight. Tomorrow, chance of showers and thunderstorms early. Then more partly sunny with showers and thunderstorms likely in the afternoon, highs upper 80s. Georgia Chief Meteorologist John Weatherby in the Georgia 811 Weather Center. Contact 811 before you dig.
WIFO and WLOP have an opening for a sales and marketing representative. We need a highly motivated person, someone who's willing to be trained to help local and area businesses increase their sales through effective radio advertising and marketing. Resumes can be dropped off here at our studios at 2420 Waycross Highway in Jessup or email to cwhubbard@bellsouth.net. Jessup Broadcasting, an equal opportunity employer. 105.5 FM, Big Dog Country Radio, WIFO. We continue on with the world-famous Butch and Bob Show, and our phone should be ringing any moment now with Congressman Betty Carter calling in. He's got several subjects that he wants to talk about this morning, and the main one is that I guess the one about the new rules forcing pharmacists to fill elective abortion prescriptions. I didn't know that was a new rule. Did that come down from the Drug Administration?
I'm not sure, but apparently it's been implemented, and he's not happy about it, so he wanted to discuss it.
He is a pharmacist, so he's the only pharmacist in Congress. And so Congressman Carter calling in just a moment here on 105.5 FM. So we had a state winner in golf, huh?
State runner and state runner-up.
Man, what, the brothers?
I think they are, Gray Long and Gunnar Long, so congratulations to them. It's a good event down there in Albany, but nice to win. And
yeah, they won.
More talented golfers coming to Wayne County program. So, again, Gunnar won the 14U event, and Gray won the runner-up in 12U.
Okay, well, here's Congressman Carter. Bob, I'm going to put him directly on the air with you when you're starting. You can just start talking to him right off the bat, okay?
Okay. And again, welcome to the world-famous Butch and Bob Show. On the phone with us is Congressman Buddy Carter. Hey, Buddy, always good to talk to you. Appreciate you being here on the show.
Well, thank you for having me, Bob.
Good morning.
I understand.
Good morning, Butch.
Talking to your guys in your office, did you have a topic you definitely want to address? That's these new rules forcing pharmacists to fill elective abortion prescriptions. So explain that and tell us when these rules took effect and what's taking place.
Well, we all know what happened with Roe versus Wade. We all know that the Supreme Court they have not outlawed it. What they've done is to say it goes back to the states. The states are going to be making the decisions now. But Health and Human Services, in their abundant wisdom, have decided that they're going to promulgate rules that says that a pharmacist must fill a prescription for an abortion pill. Even if they morally or consciously object, they must fill a prescription. Now, there are federal rules that allow for conscientious objection, yes. But these rules that are being put in place by Health and Human Services would require pharmacists to fill a prescription, regardless of how that pharmacist may feel. They may morally or consciously object to abortion, but HHS wants to force them to fill that prescription. Well, as you can imagine, this is not going to go over well with pharmacists. We're trained differently. We're trained just the opposite. We're trained to look for drug interactions, to protect patients, to protect a child. One of the biggest roles that we have, one of the most important responsibilities that we have is to help pregnant women when they're sick and they need medication. If a doctor prescribes it, we're the last check. We're the final stop before they take that medication, and we're always making sure that it's not going to hurt the fetus. It's not going to hurt that baby. And now we're being told by a government agency that we're going to have to fill these prescriptions.
And that has to be prescribed by a doctor, doesn't it, Congressman?
Yeah, most of them do. Now, there are other drugs that you can get without a prescription, like Plan B. When I owned my drugstores, I no longer own them, but when I did own them, I never carried Plan B. I didn't allow it to be carried in my drugstores. Now, we would often get prescriptions that we knew were being used for abortion, either because it was from a physician we knew was working in an abortion clinic, or because we knew that if you got a prescription for this particular drug and it was just one tablet, you knew what it was being used for. Now, I never told my pharmacist what they were going to fill or what they weren't going to fill. I left it up to them. But I will tell you that I never filled any of those prescriptions. And to my knowledge, to be quite honest with you, the pharmacists who worked with me never filled them either.
On this contraceptive pill, does it have to be taken within a certain amount of time period when the woman gets pregnant?
There are.
2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month?
Exactly. And they have to be taken during that time period. And
what time period is that?
It depends on the drug itself.
Okay.
But it can be, but it is a certain time specific that it has to be taken. And usually, it's within 72 hours, or it could be up to a couple of weeks before they could take it and it would work. So, it's the idea of the patient-pharmacist relationship that the government now is going to try to get in the middle of. And, pharmacists are the most accessible healthcare professionals in America. 95% of all Americans live within 5 miles of a pharmacy. We're the most accessible healthcare professionals, and people trust their pharmacists. And they, you trust your doctor. You don't need the federal government telling you what you're going to feel and what you're not going to feel.
So the obvious question is, what if the pharmacist just says, I'm not doing it? What's going to happen then?
Well,
is the federal government going to make an arrest, or what are they going to do? I mean, how are they going to force somebody to do something they don't want to do?
Well, what they've done is they've put this under the civil rights so that they would be able to sue you, is the idea. However, when I was in the Georgia State Legislature, I actually sponsored legislation that was passed and signed into law that said that a company could not fire a pharmacist because they refused to fill a prescription that they knew was going to be used for an abortion. And we passed that legislation. So here's another dilemma that these rules that HHS is trying to promulgate and trying to put in place, is it might conflict with state laws. So the pharmacist is essentially put in a situation where they got to decide whether I'm going to follow the federal rules or whether I'm going to follow the state law, because I can't do both. I'm going to go against one or the other. I just got to choose which one I'm going to go against, because there are states that have laws out there that say you cannot prescribe or you cannot dispense prescription for an abortion. So, it's just a heavy hand of government getting into something that they don't need to be in, and it's just a knee-jerk reaction, if you will, to this administration opposing the ruling of the Supreme Court.
Yeah, just joining us, Buddy Carter, Congressman, 1st District, on the phone with us. Other topics, Buddy, what's the update on Ukraine? I mean, just the pictures and videos, what's taking place over there is just heartbreaking, but where do we stand on helping them?
Well, yesterday here at the Capitol, we had the First Lady of Ukraine speak to members of Congress, and she was essentially pleading for weapons to help defend her people and her country. We continue to help Ukraine in every way that we can, and this is, I say in every way that we can. We continue to help Ukraine. I'm not sure you can really say in every way that we can, but we do continue to help Ukraine because it is important for a number of reasons, not the least of which is it's important for us. We don't need Russia to succeed here. We need to make sure they don't succeed, because if they do, then of course they're not going to stop. They're going to continue on. But I will tell you that what is happening over there now is what was projected to happen, and that is simply that Russia's wearing them down. And this is what we were. First of all, we were told that it wouldn't last over a week, 4 days to a week. Well, that was obviously the wrong intelligence that we were being given there. But they have been telling us from the very beginning that eventually Russia will wear Ukraine down, and eventually they will be successful.
But you don't feel that the number of Russian soldiers being killed is just astronomical? I mean, they're almost getting to the point where they have lost as many men as we did in the entire Vietnam War. Nothing was going to happen internally there in Moscow or in Russia to try to stop this, so many of their sons and brothers are not going to be killed?
Well, that's a good point and a good question, and it really goes to the question of just how much control and how much power Putin has in Russia. Does he have enough power to sustain this and to quell this kind of uprising, as you suggest? Or are the people going to raise up and say, this is enough? I mean, we can't take this anymore. That remains to be seen. Whether Putin has that kind of strength or not, obviously, up to this point, he has.
As a congressman, Congressman Carter, what is your assessment of President Biden's current trip to the Middle East?
Oh, it's ridiculous. I mean, here we have a president who's going to the Middle East, asking them, begging them to pump more oil, when all this time we've got the energy available here in America, cleaner energy than what they have in the Middle East and what they have in Russia. We've got cleaner energy here. But this president, from day one, has declared war on fossil fuels and has destroyed our energy independence. Therefore, now he has to go over to Saudi Arabia and ask them to pump more oil so that we can buy oil from them all this time when we are taking oil out of our strategic reserves and selling it to China. I mean, listen, this administration is so tone deaf and so out of touch with American people and out of touch with reality. It is scary. His numbers are the lowest of any president ever, his approval rating. And it's just one thing after another. And they just don't get it. I mean, here they are promulgating rules and passing and coming up with rules and regulations to force pharmacists to fill prescriptions for abortions when they may be morally or consciously objecting to it. And here, American people are suffering through high gas prices and high grocery prices, inflation. Our southern border is a disaster. Crime is running rampant in our streets. Have you guys seen what's happening over in Savannah with crime?
Oh, yeah.
It's getting scary over there, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And I'm from Savannah. I live in Savannah. And I mean, it's getting scary.
Yeah, and I try to take a look at read or either watch a video broadcast of news from other countries to see what their take on everything is. And it's a lot of these news outlets throughout the world are starting to questioning the mental capacity of President Biden. That is he really in charge, or is there a group of folks that are just basically putting them out there and say, you say this and you say that. What's the scuttlebutt around the hallways there at Capitol Hill?
Well, one of my colleagues, Dr. Ronnie Jackson from Texas, who was, of course, the White House physician for President Trump and for President Obama. He served both administrations. He has, again, and he told me yesterday, I saw him on the floor, he grabbed me and he said, I need you to sign on to this letter. It's the third letter he sent to have a cognitive test taken of this, performed on this president to see if he has the abilities to continue on, a mental test. Because, you know, the scuttlebug up here is that, you know, no, he is, I mean, he makes so many gaffes, and it's to the point where it's embarrassing, and I feel sorry for him.
He was reading the prompter. He was reading the prompter the other day, and at the end of it said, repeat this line, and he said that. He read that. It says, repeat this line. That, you know, it was supposed to be just for him to read, not to read on the television there. It just, you know, and he's shaking hands with people who are not there. Go ahead.
I know. Yesterday he was in Massachusetts, up in Boston, and I can never pronounce it's a Democrat that represents him, Jake Lafayette or something like that. But anyway, he introduced him and said, "We're glad she's here."
You know, you're going to get different biases here in the United States from different media and so forth. So I try to pay attention to the foreign ones, and you know, to the programs there, the television shows, radio shows, and also reading things on the internet from the different news sources throughout the world. And countries are starting to wonder about his mental capacity. Is he really in charge, or is there a group of 3, 4, 5 people that just send him out there and say, you say this and you say that, and they're really running the country? That's what I think Americans need to know.
Well, and I think, as you say, I think it's a legitimate question, and it's something that needs to be answered. I don't think it's the vice president. Their camps don't even get along. And, you know, what we have been told is that there are still a lot of people left over from the Obama administration who are making the calls.
Okay. Well, he sure did get a big welcome when he went to the White House a few weeks ago, Obama did.
He sure did.
Yeah.
Again,
Bob?
We're getting close to the end, but just, you mentioned the South Border. I saw interview with some of these Texas sheriffs that are just dealing with that issue down there at the border, and they're begging for help. They said that the administration's policy right now is just totally ineffective. So you've been down there several times, like you mentioned on the show in the past. The president has yet to go down there. Is there any solution coming for those poor sheriffs down there dealing with all that stuff? Because they're dealing with all the drug cartels, they're dealing with crime, they're dealing with these people that. It's crazy when you see the reports down there.
It is, and what the states are trying to do now is to take it in their own hands and to take action on their own part. Texas, Arizona, those states, the border states down there are now saying, hey, the federal government's not going to do it, so we're going to do it. And, of course, they need funds. They need help with that, financial help, and they're looking for the federal government to do it. And I can assure you the Biden administration is not going to help them in any way. So we're doing everything we can to help them. And, you know, Governor Abbott in Texas is certainly taking the lead on this, and that's something that I applaud him for. It's dangerous down there. I mean, there's no question about it. The people are living in fear down there on the border, and with good reason. I mean, the cartel, let me tell you, those people don't mess around. Those cartel members, even if you are an illegal immigrant and you're coming across that border, if you don't pay them, they'll kill you. I mean, that's all there is to it. You either pay them or they kill you.
What other, maybe a couple of areas of concern that may make the headlines within the next few weeks that you see on the horizon there, Congressman?
Well, we've had some. This week, an appropriations bill was passed. It was, unfortunately, a Democratic wish list. That was, that's something that we're going to do. We're scheduled to be in next week. Today is our last day of this week, and then we're scheduled to be in next week. There's scuttlebutt up here about we might be in the first week in August, or we may take the first week off and come back the second week. A lot of it will be dictated by the Senate. But what are the things that we're looking forward to, or what are the things that are on the agenda for the majority party, the Democrats, two things. First of all, there's a CHIPS bill, a microchips bill. Now, we had the China Competes Act, and that was a comprehensive bill to help us compete against China. But and they're not going to be able to get that done now, and that's very disappointing. But they have taken out the microchip part of it, and they're going to try to do that as a standalone bill. The other thing they're trying to do has to do with drug pricing. This is something that I hope we're able to stop them from doing, because they want to go into a bidding process with the pharmaceutical manufacturers and compare it to other countries, which is just not something you can do. We've got solutions to the drug pricing problem. In fact, I'm sitting outside in the hallway right now. Our doctor's caucus is meeting right now, and as soon as I finish this, I'm going to go back in there. And we've got someone talking about that right now. Joe Manchin has said that the Democrats, that he would go along with the drug pricing part of it. But this is bad for Americans because it's going to ruin research and development. We need research and development. We need new drugs. I mean, the pipeline for new drugs comes right through America. These new drugs aren't being discovered in Europe and in other parts of the world. They're being discovered right here. And if we take away that incentive for research and development from the pharmaceutical manufacturers, we're going to be in a mess in our world.
All right, Bob.
Congressman, always a pleasure. I said, I don't know if you get to see any of the SE Media Days, but Kirby says he's ready to win another national championship with the mailman. So I'm excited about that.
So he's talking about wanting to move the Georgia-Florida game. What's that about?
I didn't like that, but I don't think
why. I didn't either.
They want to move it home?
Yeah, they just feel like they need another home game. So, but hopefully they'll keep it in Jacksonville, at least for this area anyway.
So too. That's such a special
it's just a great game. But anyway, buddy, we always appreciate your time. Like I said, stay safe. Like I said, appreciate the time here on the show, and always welcome, and wish you the best of luck in the campaign.
All right. We'll talk to you next month. If you want to come on before then, just let us know. All right. Take care.
Good. Thanks, Bob.
All right. Congressman Betty Carter, we're here on the world-famous Butch and Bob Show here on WIFO. It is really good to hear from him on a regular basis, Bob, because, you know, he has all the inside scoop there, being there in the Capitol, in Washington, not every day, but most every day.
It's just good to hear. Like I said, he's there. He knows what's going on in Washington, so we appreciate him being here on the show.
All right, Bob, that's it.
Okay.
All right, the world-famous Butch and Bob Show right here on WIFO, brought to you by O'Quinn & Associates, by Van's Barbecue, Murphy Builder Supply, and by First Southern Bank.